Welcome back. We're here at Judy's Keto Kitchen, Keto Naturopath Kitchen, and I am making jalapeno cowboy candy or candied jalapenos. We have a ton of jalapenos in our garden, and I actually love jalapenos. We got mucho nacho is the kind of jalapeno, and they're really big. We've made jalapeno jelly, creamy green jalapeno sauce, jalapeno relish, and now jalapeno cowboy candy, which is our newest favorite. I've never had it before. I start off with 1.5 pounds of jalapenos, and I'm using red because we have so many red jalapenos. You can use green, you can use a mixture of red and green. The red will be hotter, the green will not be as hot, but as they stay in the jar for, you're supposed to have them in for 2 weeks before you eat them. We just eat ours the next day, and they're very hot, but as you go down to the bottom of the jar, they get less hot the longer they stay. I've even canned some, and next week I'll be canning more because, as I said, we have a lot of jalapenos. So first you have 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. You probably could use white vinegar. If you're going to can them, make sure your vinegar is 4%. All the apple cider vinegar I've seen is. Some of the white vinegar is now 3%, which would not be good for canning. There are some brands of white vinegar there that are 4%, so just note that. To that, you add a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1/4 teaspoon of celery seeds. So that's that. This calls for 3 cups of granulated sugar. You probably don't need that much sweetener. I try not to use granulated sweetener. I prefer stevia, so I am using better stevia. We get this on what used to be Welevate, is now Fullscript. I'm sure you could get it on Amazon as well. So I just do some squirts, and I will be testing this later to see if it's sweet enough. But right now, 2 squirts. If you're using granular sweetener, at this stage, you would bring this to a boil so that the granular sweetener melts and is incorporated. Since I'm using stevia, I don't have to do that. I am just going to add the sliced jalapenos here. And 1.5 pounds of fresh jalapenos sliced. Wear gloves. Wear gloves when you're slicing them. No, I don't always wear gloves. I just then wash my hands a gazillion times. But it will burn. The other day, as I said, so many jalapenos. I think I picked 16 pounds of jalapenos. I made jalapeno jelly. I canned cowboy jalapenos. And I did not wear a glove, and my fingers were burning. So wear a glove. Do as I say, not as I do. And then I'm just going to put this in the liquid. Now I suppose if you wanted it less hot, you could remove some of the seeds. I like it hot, so I will keep them. I lost 1 jalapeno on the floor, but I don't think my cats are really going to want to eat it. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then once it starts boiling, I'll keep stirring it for 10 minutes. Let it boil for 10 minutes. After that, we'll come back, and I'll show you the next step. So the jalapenos have been boiling in the vinegar for about 10 minutes, so you can probably see they've gotten a little softer. It cooks them a little bit, which makes them easier to put them in the jars. Now this recipe would make 2 pints for canning, but since I'm just going to put it in the refrigerator, I'm just going to put it in a quart. I have canned pints of this. So you take a slotted spoon so you don't get the juice, and you just start putting the jalapenos in the jar. Oh, hot peppers are tough on the eyes, tough on the breathing. Now you may have some left over from and more than just a quart. It's hard to get everything exact, especially for canning. What you'll do is you'll just push everything down if you're canning this, because you want as little space as possible. Even though this is just going in the refrigerator, I'm trying to take as much airspace out as possible. So I will have some left over. That's fine. Just put it in a different jar. Now this is supposed to sit, whether you can it or you put it in the refrigerator, you're supposed to wait 1 to 2 weeks. 3 to 4 is better. But I will tell you right now, we have never waited that long. And now you pour the juice till it pretty much covers. Try to do it this way. Especially if you're canning, you should have it covered. Since this is going in the refrigerator, it doesn't matter as much. This is hot, but I will put this cover on it, and I will put a piece of masking tape with the date so that I know, try not to use it for 2 weeks. But I'll show you what we have. This is the first jar we made. We've been eating it. It's actually the second jar. And this I made on the 15th of August. This was on the 6th of August. But what I've been doing is every time I make some more, I just fill her back up. I don't always, sometimes there are a lot of seeds, and I don't put all of the seeds in. As you can see on the bottom, there are a lot of seeds, and that's fine. I don't need to put them in. But this is my cowboy candy that's been in the refrigerator. I am not going to test this and taste it because it's hot, and I'm not going to just eat it. This is absolutely amazing on burgers. Oh, it's so good on burgers as a side, excuse me, with chicken, pork. It's amazing. It's got a little sweetness and the kick of the jalapeno peppers. I just love it, and a great way to use up our ton of red jalapeno peppers that we have.